Okay, so here we are once again in game one of Clash of the Titans round robin between the Viper and Yellow. First game was a restart, as I said, so unfortunately wasting a few minutes of our time there, but sometimes that is just the way it has to be. And yeah, I've already done the introductions, but I'll do them again for the sake of people watching the VOD. We have game one, which is an Arabia Hun war, and it's going to be an interesting game, I'm sure of that much. Viper used his restart in the last one, so he is not allowed, I believe, to restart this one. However, Yellow could still pull out a restart if he wanted to, though looking at his map straight away, it doesn't seem so bad. Aside from perhaps having a front goal, but we'll look at his map a little bit later in just a moment. So, down to the southeast of the map in Yellow, we have got the Viper playing as Huns, and up to the northwest of the map, playing as Huns in blue, we do have VNS Yellow. And as I said in the last game, perhaps the Viper trying to play mind games with Yellow here by choosing his colour. Who knows? So yeah, as I was saying before the game got restarted, these players going to give us some interesting games, going to give us some fun games, I'm sure of it. Yellow, certainly a fun player to watch, probably going to be trushing, no doubt, just judging by his previous games so far. He does like to play quite aggressively, he does like to play on the edge, and even send all of his villagers across the map if he so desires, if the game is unsalvageable. But as I said a moment ago, Yellow's map does look pretty good, actually. Obviously, Huns don't have houses, making it a little bit more difficult to wall up with buildings, but his map looks very, very closed indeed. We have a look right here. He's got this back section, which can be very easily walled with palisade. He's got another front section here, which could be walled very easily, and again, at the front and the side between these cliffs, meaning that sure, his front gold is forward, but he could probably take that in relative safety. Archers, later on, crossbows perhaps could hit that from behind the tree line. But if Yellow did build on the front right here, he could protect that gold fairly easily, even though it is on the front. So I think that's pretty good for him, and he is going to be pretty happy with this map, actually, considering this was Viper's restarted game right here. So a quick look over at the Viper right now, and oh man, Viper lost a villager luring that first boar in. That's a big mistake to make early on in the game, and I do think that there is probably quite a bit of latency, a bit of lag between these two guys. Also, Viper taking his sheep from way away from his TC. He's off to a pretty messy start, actually, and something that perhaps you wouldn't expect to see from him. My feeling right here is that there is a little bit of lag because Yellow almost lost a villager there, luring that first boar as well. And that was mostly, I believe, down to the lag. It did seem like that, using his sheep just to prevent that villager from getting one last hit. Let's see about it here. Usually, as I was casting with Ares before, he said players would just eventually adjust to the amount of lag in each individual game, and of course each game is different. Yellow's got to be careful here though, could almost lose that boar, but very well controlled, bringing that towards the TC, and yeah, he's going to be absolutely fine. Getting a loom as well, very clear then that there is a little bit of lag here, and they want to take extra precaution, getting a loom a little bit earlier, which is not really too much of a problem, but obviously it's ideal to get loom towards the later stages or the end of your Dark Age. So Viper does seem to be off to a little bit of a messy start here, actually. But we'll have a look at his scouting, because he does have a higher score. Seems perhaps that his scouting is slightly better at this stage. He's already going over to scout Yellow right now. And, well, he's already scouted Yellow. And Yellow just right now coming into the Viper's base to see what he can see. And he will see some very low villagers right there. And of course, with having villagers that low, you really want to make sure that you keep them nice and safe from any scout raiding that could come in. Worth noting, Viper has 3 villagers on wood right here, and we're already past the 6-minute mark, so we're not going to see any drushing at this stage. But we could still see scouts. Obviously, a couple of farms being seeded very early on. Viper probably going to do the same with these damaged villagers, which, you know, if you're going to be making those extra... Okay, interesting. I thought Viper was actually going to send a villager over to stone right there. If you're going to be making those extra farms, then it could be scouts, but we'll have to wait and see. Archer's going to be equally viable right here. Obviously, neither of them drushing, so no fast castle is likely to be coming into play either. And, you know, actually forgot to have a look at the Viper's map right here. He has got a reasonably good gold right here as well, actually. It's, sure it's on the front, but if he walls across here, as he sort of is doing already, that's actually going to be fairly safe. And he's got a pretty easy wall on the right side, trees forming a natural barrier on the left side. Trees forming a natural barrier on the right, and a small open area here, which is going to be easy to control with units. Interestingly enough, though, he is taking a few deer right here, and he has gone up on 20 population, which is actually quite a low amount. And you can see in the upgrade to feudal right now that he is a little bit faster going up, but that's interesting. The more interesting thing, though, is that Yellow is coming forwards right now with a barracks, 5 villagers in his classic Yellow playing super aggressive forward style. Doesn't seem like he's taking any stone, though, and indeed he isn't. So perhaps not going to actually be making a tower rush right here. We'll see what he does. Maybe going to be putting down an archery range, going with some archers perhaps, but again, not taking any gold. So very interested to see what Yellow does right here. Yeah, it will be an archery range, but Viper going for a stable right now, and he is taking that those deer in the north, so he will get a big food boost from that. Yellow right now, though, making quite a big risky play here, going for an archery range. It's worth noting he's not taking any gold, which does mean that Yellow will be making skirmishes from this archery range if it goes up. And not only that, if the Viper continues to pump out some scout cavalry, then Yellow is going to have a tough time with the skirmishers doing actually any damage. He is backing this up, though, with some spearmen. And so far, casualties looking like 1 spearman down for the Viper, 1 villager down for Yellow. And this is risky play. Quite a few low health villagers right here. Going to get picked off very easily by the Viper's scouts if he's not careful. Trying to go back right there where he can. But Yellow keeping on pumping out these spearmen right now. Going to force Viper's scouts back. And of course, that is quite a little bit of, well, a substantial amount of food there that's not really going to see much action. Yellow continuing to add those skirmishes in, and he's still not taking any stones, so we're probably not gonna see that many towers from him, but he has got to be careful right now, getting those villagers involved and losing quite a lot of health on them as well. Looks like Viper lost a villager in the fray, a couple more units going down there as well. It is very hard to keep track when it's this messy. And the Viper now forced into a fairly defensive position, actually. Nice that Yellow's come forwards like this, putting a tower up on the Viper's main gold. And that, of course, is not what the Viper wants. He's going to have to go YOLO mode here, put up a watchtower. I don't know why I say YOLO mode. It's so bad. I really should not be saying that. It's painful to hear myself say it. It just comes out sometimes. Viper putting up a watchtower in defense right here, and this is Yellow play. This is Yellow style, going super aggressive and making interesting games to watch. Skirmishers coming out for both of them. Of course, Viper right here, unable to take any gold, but he has got these deer at the back, which is making quite a big difference to his food income right now. So there we go, tower up on the gold, and Yellow gonna palisade up this stable as well. What has the Viper got in there? Just 1 scout cavalry for now, and he's really not going to stop this with 1 scout. There's lots of spearmen around for Yellow right now, and Yellow's forward play right here seeming to be fairly efficient for him. It does look to be working out, and the Viper now throwing up some walls to make sure that he can secure the rest of his economy. So pretty messy start right here. The Viper will lose his stable to these palisade walls and this villager, and Yellow making a pretty big indent, a pretty big impression on this game so far. I do actually think, though, that this stable has already served its purpose. You've got to bear in mind that Viper's already managed to get 3 extra scout cavalry out. I'm not sure if he lost one back here. I don't think he did. So 3 plus his initial scout. And of course that does mean that he is going to be able to raid Yellow a little bit here. He will be able to pick off this villager if he goes for it. And so, you know, the stable has kind of already served its purpose. The Viper now adding in that archery range, and he will probably add a second one in as well. There's no way he is going to be able to pull off a fast castle of any kind right here, as there is just too much pressure coming in from Yellow. Yellow lost a villager back here. Viper lost a scout, but that's not so much of a big deal. Viper looking to find more where he can, and Yellow does have a few spearmen positioned around, so it might be difficult. And yeah, he looks like he's just going to sort of hang around the borders and keep scouting what he can see. Yellow now, though, is in a great position because he is able to take this forward gold very comfortably. He's not really going to be attacked or harassed too much by the Viper here, and that means he can start pumping out those archers and thinking about actually, well, considering the castle age right here. Of course, if you are playing an aggressive forward like this and you're forced to make skirmishes, your opponent can probably get a little bit further ahead if they are able to secure their gold. And Viper now really does want this gold. Going to be able to try and take down this tower, bringing in the villagers, getting extra villagers inside this watchtower to take it down. And yeah, he will lose that. And now Yellow's got to be careful because this forward could be comprehended. Forwards are so fragile. Viper could come forwards and attempt to wall this off himself if he wanted to, which would of course render this archery range useless, which in my opinion is probably a much bigger loss than the stable at this stage. But Yellow, he is starting to take a lot of gold right now. He will be transitioning into archers, and that is an important step to make. Seems though like Viper starting to really add in the farms at the moment, which is interesting because obviously you wouldn't need this many farms to sustain villager production from one TC. He's not actually making that many much military at all. Is it actually going to be the case that he does a fast castle here? I mean, he's got 3 villagers on gold. He's got, let's have a look, 17 farmers right now. He just researched wheelbarrow, which is of course going to make his farmers a lot more effective. He might be actually going for a fast castle. Going to be stoning walling this up right here. Well, it's not really a fast castle. Obviously, we're at the 20-minute stage of the game. It's not exactly a fast castle. But he is going for a much faster castle time than his opponent. And that is the important thing to note right here. The question is, if the Viper does do this, can he defend it? And it is a risky move to go for. It does indeed seem like he's doing just that. There is no... yeah, there we go. I was going to say no blacksmith down yet, but he is going to put that down right there. And the Viper now could be in a great spot, actually, if he manages to do this. It's just going to be interesting as to whether he can or not. Obviously, walling up this entire side of his base. And Yellow probably going to have a bit of an idea about what's going on, but he's committed now to taking this much gold. He will be committed here to continuing to produce archers and looking to find a way in. If he can do that, then he could do some serious damage to the Viper here. Viper has clicked up, and putting down a stable on the back as well. Looks like he might then be considering going for some knights right here. Couldn't think of the word right then. But maybe gonna have to add a few units in, and this is why it's so risky. Yellow is in, and he could do a hell of a lot of damage right here if he continues to tower forwards, if he denies this gold from the Viper. He could be in a terrible position, or the Viper could be in a terrible position. Let's see if he can defend it. He's about 50% up, or 45-50% up. And that is pretty huge for him right now. Looking at the upgrades as well, Yellow very committed to this feudal pressure here with +1/+1 attack and defense right there. Viper with absolutely no blacksmith upgrades right now and walling himself in as best he can. Really going heavy on the walls here to make sure that his base is defended. And Yellow, he's got to know what's going on right here. He has to know that the Viper is indeed going for a fast castle here. It does certainly look that way, but Yellow, I think he's going to get in, you know. If he actually focuses down this palisade and gets in, Viper could be finding himself taking some heavy losses. But going to wall up right here with another stable, getting that up just in time, and I don't know, I think he's going to pull it off actually. He's about to hit castle age right now, he's on 99%, 100%. Knights going to come out from the stable, and 1 or 2 knights will clear this up. It's a majority skirmisher army, and we know for a fact just how damaging knights are to skirmishers here. The only thing he's got to worry about are the 2 spearmen at the front, but they are both on extremely low HP. Viper, though, may lose a couple of villagers here, but it really doesn't matter too much to him. He will kill off the majority of Yellow's army right here. Although saying that, you know, he's going to take quite a heavy loss to his economy here. A lot of villagers gathered inside of this TC, which is not ideal, but these knights should be able to clear this up. Gonna lose a couple of villagers though, which is certainly not good, but the scores right now indicating that Yellow taking a huge loss. And the Viper looking to go 2 stables. I imagine he's going to stick on the 1 TC for now and go straight over to Yellow's base with a counter attack. That is what I foresee at this stage. Yellow just clicking up to the castle age. He is a wise player. He does know when the castle age is indeed needed. The one thing that Viper could do right now, though, is wall these archery ranges off, and that would be a huge deal for him. And of course, Yellow likely to want to upgrade to that crossbow. Likely to want to be making cavalry archers once he reaches the castle age as well. And if Viper does wall these archery ranges up, it does mean that Yellow's going to have to spend a good 350 wood on building 2 new ones. So that is a big deal. And if Viper does wall these up, Yellow is going to be losing out massively right here. Freeing right now his 3rd stable as well, the one that Yellow had walled up previously. Going to be taking the walls down, or taking the palisades down on that. And Yellow right now, making a few spearmen, could be considering the pikeman upgrade anytime soon. He is about 60%, 70% of the way up to the castle age. And looking to draw things even with perhaps the crossbow upgrade here, maybe the pikeman upgrade as well. Not really continuing the spearman production though, so perhaps not. We'll have to wait and see. Archers coming out, and Yellow needs to make a stand here. Just to confirm, guys, Yellow is playing in blue and the Viper is playing in yellow. I did say that at the start of the game for those of you who are confused. So Yellow going for the crossbow upgrade right here. Gonna get that crossbow upgrade, and that's so crucial. May go for the pikeman as well, but I don't know. He's not really got enough spears here to really justify that, but needs that crossbow upgrade quickly. Needs the +2 quickly as well, otherwise Viper's gonna shred through this. And Viper has got the +1 defense right now, so the crossbows need to get into a nook and cranny, which they are exactly going to do. And Yellow going to be switching straight into cavalry archers right now to look to draw things level. Viper should be able to clear this up with no problem at all. And yeah, going to clear that up, no problem at all right there. And you know, I think Viper now going to be going for +2 any moment on those on the blacksmith for the knights, so he can really start to raid. The only problem is he doesn't realise at this stage that the Yellow is pretty much fully walled up with stone wall, so he is going to be absolutely fine if Viper does go back to raid, but for the time being, just going to take down these buildings and reclaim the front of his base. Finally, going to be able to take the front gold back and start to get things sorted out. Seems to me like Yellow's going to have a tough time right here. The Viper now nearly a whole 1,000 in the lead in terms of score. He has got a much larger military at this stage. He has 12 knights out on the field compared to Yellow's 5 cavalry archers. We can see them right there at the front of his base right now. But Yellow going to have to play extremely defensively here, having to rebuild as well some archery ranges back at home. Of course, Yellow going to have lost out on a lot of wood there. That's going to be slowing down his 3rd TC, although he can actually afford one right now once that stone comes in. But obviously it's not an ideal situation to be in. Yellow should be going for his 3rd TC any second now. And the Viper just going to clear things up at the front of his base, taking out the rest of these buildings. And a monastery for him as well. Interesting. Looks like he's going to go for the relic. And there's Yellow's 3rd TC going up on that gold on the front right there. Viper though coming in with the knights. No +2 defense, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult against cavalry archers. Yellow does have bloodlines researched as well as +2 and +1 defense. So upgrades are looking pretty good for Yellow, but this mangonel on the field from the Viper going to be a little bit nasty actually. If he pulls off a big shot here, that could work out very well for him indeed. Yellow has got 1 knight out though, and that mangonel will go down very quickly indeed. Some good play there by Yellow, focusing down on that mangonel. And he is now just going to get that TC up on the front. Of course, quite delayed on that, but at the same time, Viper only on the 2 TCs right now. Oh, 3rd TC has gone up. I didn't notice that at the south of the map right there. Still, Yellow is extremely outnumbered here, and in terms of overall military count, I think. Actually, no, saying that, looks like he's actually caught up in terms of cavalry archers. But the Viper here has got +2 now done on his knights. He's not going to find a way into Yellow's base, though. Maybe this palisade on the north side could be a little bit of a weakness. But I think the Viper here, really, not really going to be able to do any raiding on Yellow's economy, and that's kind of a big deal. Let's see what Yellow can do here then. Obviously, upgrades are looking pretty good for him. Viper getting caught out right there, running straight into those cavalry archers. And Yellow, if he micros this well, could take out a lot of these knights. No problem whatsoever for him. But he is going to go back right now. And Viper getting a conversion on Yellow's cavalry archer there as well, for good measure. Okay, interesting. Yellow's sticking up barracks on the front right now. And that is curious. He does seem to have a pretty imbalanced economy at this stage. A lot of wood build-up. Of course, he will want to seed a lot of farms, and he should be doing that. But every game I've seen of him, he does seem to have quite an imbalanced eco. That is something I have noticed. A lot of wood right now, and he's actually upgrading pikemen, which is interesting. Going to add some pikes into his cavalry archer army, just to deal with these knights from the Viper a little bit better. Researching forging right there. And I wonder if he's actually going to get forging done. Looks like he's going to lose that blacksmith before forging completes. That's kind of awkward for him. And he's going to have to rebuild his blacksmith right now as well, which does suck for him, to say the least. Archery range is now up for the Viper though, and he will be switching to cavalry archers right now. He has got a lot of farmland down. He will want a bit more though, as obviously the Imperial Age will be in the back of his mind all this while. Switching to cavalry archers though, a great choice to make, meaning that he will be able to focus more on gaining that food to go up to the Imperial Age. Right now though, Viper making a push in, being met by those pikemen, and going straight back. I actually think Yellow actually has a little bit of an opportunity right now. If he takes good care of these pikes, he could start to push in. The Viper has no upgrades on these cavalry archers whatsoever, and I think Yellow is actually failing to see that. Aside from bloodlines, actually, he does have bloodlines. +1 attack now done, but Yellow could actually push in with these pikes, with these cavalry archers. He has got an upgrade advantage. And he might be able to do quite a lot of damage to the Viper's army right here if he continues to push. A couple of rams coming in as well. And Yellow is just going to keep his foot on the gas, continuing to queue up these pikemen, continuing to add in those cavalry archers. And the Viper's army starting to shrivel away right now. 13 cavalry, 14 cavalry archers, 21 cavalry archers and 6 infantry. He is pumping them out pretty quickly as well. Yellow just has to make good use of these rams right here. And he could do quite a lot of damage to the Viper if those rams do soak up the cavalry archer fire. But I think he's starting to lose his window of opportunity. The Viper has got +2 attack now done on these cavalry archers, which is going to make it considerably easier for him. And Yellow does seem to have fairly poor army control right here. Units going stray quite easily, and now Viper Mangonel in the mix as well. Yellow's noticed though, which is a good thing for him, otherwise he could take massive losses on those cavalry archers. Going to focus that one down very quickly indeed. Nice one, but taking a big hit right there. Looks like he's going to have to go back though. Once again, bringing those cavalry archers forwards, but micromanaging this army quite messily. The pikemen being extremely ineffective at this stage, really not doing that much damage. And the rams really should be in front of this army right here. But there we go, he's going to go forwards with the pikes. The pikes getting taken down very quickly indeed. And a mangonel shot from behind this monastery. I don't think Yellow's seen it. And that is devastating for him, losing a huge amount right there. Going to have to go right back. And not only that, but Viper's Knights going to take very, very quick care of these rams right here. Not a problem at all. Another hit from that mangonel on those cavalry archers. And oh man, that could not have gone any worse for Yellow right there at all. He took huge losses. Viper has a massive advantage right now. That mangonel did so much damage to those cavalry archers, and the rams got taken out with little problem at all. Now, of course, the problem here for Yellow is that these pikes are going to get taken down extremely quickly by the Viper's cavalry archers. And, of course, that is going to make Viper's army pretty much superior. The pikemen can't actually get close at this stage. Viper's score a good 1,000 in the lead, and right now I think he is a couple of minutes away from clicking up to the Imperial Age. He's got a lot of farmland down. He is, of course, continuing to add in a lot of units, but he could actually stop right now. He could stop villager production, and he could start going up to the Imperial Age in just a moment's time. Got to be careful though, obviously doesn't want to lose his entire army and have to fall back, but right now, making that push, and it looks like Yellow's going to get cleaned up right here. The rest of his cavalry archers being chased down, and the Viper now with +2 defense on those cavalry archers for good measure. 2 mangonels coming out though, they're going to get taken out very quickly indeed. Oh man, Yellow wasting a lot of resources right there on that cavalry, on that mangonel, and I don't know if he can keep this up. He's being pushed right back. Viper's got a pretty significant army, and he will be thinking about going up to the Imperial Age in a few moments' time. Looks like his TCs, no, he's still keeping villager production up for now, because he will need that for a little while. And wow, a lot of archery ranges for him. Really throwing out those cavalry archers right now. But of course, this is a Hun war. What can you expect? Cavalry archers all day long. Yellow's army management, again, though, does seem to be a little bit lacking at this stage. Really coming forwards with a few units at a time, sort of in dribbles. It's a little bit messy. Is Viper going to put a castle on the front right here? It looks like he might. A castle on this hill. Got to be enraged up this TC. And that is really bad news for Yellow right here. Will lose a significant portion of his economy, and also this gold, which is a huge deal. Market going up at the back for Yellow. He's obviously feeling like he's got quite an imbalanced economy here. Perhaps going to sell off a little bit of wood. Doesn't seem like he has quite so many farms down as the Viper here either. Going to be just seeding a load more right now, but really focusing on that army at this stage, army production. 158 population, so the Viper's 166 is extremely close still. But the Viper is starting to pull ahead now in the scores. This castle right here on the front will take out that town centre. And the Viper's cavalry archers doing so much damage here. The pikemen not able to get up close at all before they get torn down. And there are so many resources being lost for Yellow right now. 18 cavalry archers on the field for him, and the Viper has 33, so there is a huge difference. But Yellow coming forwards right now with a castle on the front right here. If he does get that up, that could be massive for him. Coming forwards with a mangonel as well. The mangonel not going to be able to do anything at all, unfortunately for him, and it looks like this castle will get denied as well. The Viper with his cavalry archers there, with the numbers advantage as well, able to really push that. Viper as well, not even going in right now, just going to keep that production up, adding in those light cavalry here, knowing that that Yellow is probably just pumping out the army all the same. Castle going to be denied, and it looks like right now Yellow has absolutely no army left at all, which is fairly sad for him. Continuing that pikeman production though. Cavalry archers seem to be slowing down a little bit. Thumb ring just being researched as well. But yeah, Yellow. Oh, it's not looking ideal for him. It's not looking ideal at all. 3,000 score behind, and you know, you can just see by the amount of military on the map that the Viper is in a excellent position right here. He's took a lot less unit losses. So you see on the front for Yellow going to go down, and that does open the door to this this gold mine on the left. But castle going up on that by Yellow there. Smart play by him. Going to secure that a little bit. His main gold, I think, yeah, completely out right now. And Yellow's going to be struggling for gold here, I feel. Obviously, got this gold right here at the back. Viper, though, is he going to find this? It looks like he might do. This castle could actually... No, the castle will go up. Alright, I was going to say he could actually stop that from going up, but too many villagers on there for sure. Viper now, though, up to the Imperial Age. 50% on that, and that's huge. He's stopped villager production right now. He's got a lot of food piling up, and he's going to be going for that Hussar cavalry archer build that is so strong in the Imperial Age. He's got the cavalry archers already. All he needs is the production of the Hussars, and we can see stables going up on the left hand side. He'll probably upgrade siege ram as well there, and he will just start the raiding with these cavalry, light cavalries, soon to be Hussars. from the left-hand side. Of course, when you're building your economy with so many farms like this, you're obviously going to be making villages at the same time. Eventually, the food levels catch up, you stop your villager production, and you have a huge surplus of food starting to pile in. And of course, that is just going to allow him to spam those light cavalry and the hussars all day long. Should be looking for the defensive upgrades extremely quickly. Bracer first, though, and then, of course, heavy cavalry archer, Parthian tactics. Not going to miss a beat. University. No chemistry just yet, but it looks like he just sold a lot of his food off right there, selling the food at the market, and there's the GG from Yellow right now, knowing that he just cannot stand up to that much punishment. Really well played, and you know, for a while there, I actually thought that Yellow's forward was actually going to work. Viper played an extremely risky play with going for that Castle Age there without making much military in the Feudal Age at all. It was risky and it nearly didn't pay off at all. Yellow did manage to come in and get into the Viper's base, but the Viper just in time got up to the Castle Age, started adding in those knights, and it all worked out in the end. Right, so we're going to go back and go to game number 2. Viper takes the first one.